Hello and welcome to Dabbling in Journals. And oh my goodness, I'm so embarrassed. Look how many journals I have on my desk. It's absolutely ridiculous, but I am obsessed. I love them. I love all of them. I can't think that I want to get rid of any of them. But today I'm going to start preparing for One But July, so that in July, instead of using all of these, I'm just going to use one. Now, historically, when One But July first started, the idea was just one notebook, like not one traveller's notebook, but one notebook and one pen. And it was about getting back to basics. And also, I think it's important to remember that people joining the planning or journaling community, and some people plan, some people journal, some people do both. You don't need all of this. I have all of this because I'm crazy. It's my hobby. It's what I spend all my pocket money on, is my journaling. That's what I do. If you can see me sitting here now in my holy t-shirt, because I don't hardly ever buy any clothes or anything else, I just love my journals. But anyway, if you want to know more about One But July, the people to go to are RhomanysRealm, Miss Vicky Bee and Carie Harling. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that they are the three that started it, and I will link their channels below. A lot of the time I think they're on Patreon and other things like that at the moment, but for One But July, Miss Vicky Bee and Carie Harling will be on YouTube. RhomanysRealm, I think, has personal issues and isn't going to be taking part this year. So if you want to know more about One But July, then that's where to go. Now for me, I'm just doing my own personal interpretation, and what I use it for is to evaluate the way that I'm using my planners and to think about whether or not I can change my systems so that I use them more effectively, because look, I have so many. So the first thing I'm going to do is just remove any that I don't feel I need to worry about, because they have such specific uses that I don't need to use them all the time, and I can just enjoy using them when I have those specific occasions. So for example, let me move them all out of the way actually, because otherwise you won't be able to see them, will you? If you want to just look at all the planner candy. I'm going to try and sort them into piles. Okay, so this one is my travel journal. So I'm only going to be using this one if I'm going on a holiday. I will count a long weekend or a weekend away or anywhere where I'm sleeping away from home. I will take my travel journal and I will journal about my experience. So that has a very specific use. This is the limited edition Traveller's Hotel notebook that I recently purchased when they came out. I didn't have a dedicated travel journal, so I was really happy to get this and to be using it for that purpose. Now in terms of One But July, don't want to make any changes there. Happy to have a dedicated travel journal, and so I'm leaving that one to one side. Now other ones that I only use very occasionally, I have my commonplace book. Now my commonplace book is where I collect quotations that I find interesting, or I might explore a topic and look for quotations that help me think about that topic further. I do have some videos on my channel showing my commonplace book. If I'm busy, I don't use it. If I've got other things that I'm doing, I don't use it. I just use it when I feel like using it, and I often note down any quotation that I come across in my personal journal, and then when I feel like working in my commonplace book, that's what I do. So I don't feel I need to worry about this one for One But July, because I can continue to note down quotations in the one book that I'm using if I want to include them in this commonplace book. And this is a Chic Sparrow March Hare A6 folio. Absolutely love this leather and this little notebook, and I've been enjoying making that book. I haven't worked in it for a while. And then I have my memory keeping journals. So this is a memory keeping journal, and this is a memory keeping journal. Now this is new to my collection, this Sojourner, which I bought pre-loved. These are where I collect photographs of things that happen that I want to remember. So let's find a photograph. So there's my sister meeting my new grandson for the first time. So I journal about things that I want to remember, and I also keep little bits that I you know, little bits and pieces that I might want to remember. That was a scorecard from a crazy golf game. And I journal about happy mails. Let me find a happy mail. There's a happy mail. And, you know, that's my most recent happy mail. So that has a very specific use. I will continue to use it just like that. And I love looking through them afterwards. So I'm not worrying about that one for 1 Book July, because I'm currently using it as I intended it when I set it up. Similarly with this one, this is another memory keeping journal that I have, and it says sister on it because it was a gift from my sister, from Meadowgate leather. This gorgeous colour. It's gorgeous leather. I really like this notebook, and I love the fact that it was gifted to me, because I wouldn't have picked it and I would have missed out, because it's gorgeous. And what I use this one for is memory keeping again, but this one is more sort of special occasions. So for example, in this one I'm journaling about my grandson, and I have a gratitude journal in here which is kind of personal, and I have a sort of celebrations journal where as a family we celebrate things, and I journal about those things in here. So again, another sort of specific memory keeping journal. I don't need to worry about that. I can keep it going as it is. Very happy with it. I use it when I feel like it, no pressure, and yeah, that's fine. So far so good. I feel like I'm happy with all of those traveller's notebooks and folios and the way that I'm using them. Now, next up, I have a couple of journals that I use for tarot. This one I use if I want to just pull one card, and this one I use if I want to do a sort of spread of cards. I do my monthly tarot spreads in here and so on. I love tarot cards and I use them for those purposes. I don't use them every day, but when I feel like doing something with my tarot cards, then I will do them in these two journals. Again, I'm happy with how I'm using them. I don't see any need to change. So I will keep those as they are. Oh, I should have said, this one again is a Meadowgate leather notebook, which just has an A6 Stalogy in it, where as you can see I take photographs of my card and I journal about it, and I don't really flip through it because it's quite personal journaling. I do a tarot card pull that I share, as you know, if you follow my channel. If you don't follow my channel, you don't know that, but I use it as my focus of the week. But this one is more personal, so I don't share that one, but I love it. And it had an A6 Stalogy in it, and this one is an Apple Pig leather notebook, which is absolutely gorgeous. And I have B6. I wanted to try the B6 size, and I really like the B6 size, and I don't know if I want to show you stuff in here, but again, this is sort of, it's a B6. I have my, this is the one where I do my sort of more complicated spreads. This is the one where I do my monthly spreads. So at the beginning of the year I picked a card for each month, and then I write about that just for fun. I just do it for fun because I enjoy it, and it's helping me to get to know my cards. I love the artwork on my cards, which is the primary inspiration for me from tarot, and yeah, really like that. And here I just recently bought this actually, and I've stuck it in here because it's one of those sticker release books which the Travellers Company brought out, a little passport one or a regular size one, and I found this B6 one, which is La Dolce Vita at misopaper.co.uk, and I just picked it up because I thought, who knows what I might change my mind and use this book for in the future, and I might want one of those. So I just picked it up for no real reason, just because they're unusual, and I really love my little passport one. So I have another one of those in there. Look at this gorgeous journal. It is really gorgeous. I don't use it as much as I wish I did, but it's all a question of time, and I'll come to that in a minute. So I'm not changing that. So I'm not changing much, am I? But now we get to the point where I do want to start thinking about what I'm doing. This is a little pocket one. I used this for 1 Book July last year. It's kind of not being used very much at the moment, so that needs a new setup. But I'm going to do that in August. I've got 2 pocket notebooks and I want to think about how to use them, and I will do that in August after I've done 1 Book July, and I can work out if there's anything special that I would like to do in my pocket notebooks. So that's going to be saved for that reason. Let me put that one away. And then what have I got left? I've got the ones that I would like to be using every day, but I'm not. Oh, by the way, I do have some A5 journals, but I didn't get those out. And one is just for study, for taking notes, and the other one is a sketchbook. And talking about sketchbooks, I have 1, 2, 3 sketchbooks, and I'm really not using that. This one, which is this lovely little, I don't know if I've ever shown this one. It's a really lovely journal, which I think is by InkBandits. I'll link it below because I can't remember the name of the shop. And she did this as a little custom order for me. So it's just a sort of really simple, lightweight folio with this pocket on the front. It's lovely pull-up leather look. And I have a Stillman & Bird sketchbook in here. And what have I done in here? Absolutely almost nothing. I set it up in August 2020. Well, to be fair, it was lockdown, so I kind of forgot about it after that. And here I was just trying the paper, and I've never used this little sketchbook. And the paper's quite nice. And I had planned for this to be one that I could take out when I'm dog walking, but I haven't. So I need to think about this during One Book July, is my sketching hobby. So that one's hardly used. This one, which is from Le Cow, or Le Right, depending on where you buy them from. I think mine is a Le Cow. It's got a little cow on it. Same company. I don't know why he has 2 names. It's really confusing. Anyway, this one was supposed to be for me to do a daily sketch, or try and do a more or less daily sketch. And I started it in January, and this is all the pages that I've done so far. So I haven't really been doing much in the way of daily sketching. And I do get frustrated because I feel like the sketching that I do with ink and wash is nowhere near as good as the coloured pencil drawings that I can do, which, I mean, that's pastel, but coloured pencil drawings I can do. And that just seems to me much more skilled looking than some of these. So I don't know if it's that, some kind of hubris or pride or something that's coming into it, and I just don't like doing the ones and I look at them and think, well, that looks like, I don't think they're that bad. I mean, I think they look quite pretty when I come back to them. And this is the kind of sketching that I want to learn to do. Isn't it ridiculous that I can do that? And I feel like I'm needing to learn to do this. And I'll talk about that in a sketching video in the future, actually, because I promised one for one of my followers, and I just haven't had time, and I'll come to that in a minute as well. So anyway, I haven't been doing that, as you can see. So my sketching hobby is not going well. This is another sketchbook, and this sketching hobby has not been going well either. I did do that little sketch in July, but that's the only thing I've put in here for ages and ages and ages, and I haven't added anything to this sketchbook in absolutely ages and ages and ages. So I have 3 sketchbooks here, and I'm just not using them as I would like to. So one of the things I want to evaluate during One Book July is what kind of routine can I establish. So in my planning, I want to think about what kind of routine can I establish where I will actually use my sketchbooks, because I want to. And yeah, I have PTSD, I struggle with motivation. I've been doing really well making my videos. I've been really enjoying making them. I've successfully made one most weeks, sometimes more than one. Been doing really well with that, but I'm not doing so well with my sketch hobby, which is a shame. So those are those 3. So that's a big question I want to ask myself during One Book July. Is it because I've got 3 sketchbooks? Should I just have one? Do I need just a portable one so it's always with me so I can sit and do it in the garden or whatever? But these are portable. I mean, I can easily take that anywhere. It's like a feather. It doesn't weigh much more than the little book that's inside it. This isn't, you know, these I could take anywhere. So that's one of the things I want to think about. And then this I'm currently using for practicing hand lettering, and it's also been my catch-all notebook. So it's a catch-all notebook, and I've been practicing hand lettering in here, as you can see, but not very systematically. So that's another hobby. So I want to learn hand lettering, brush lettering, whatever you call it. I want to improve my brush lettering, and I want to try and build it into a daily routine. So a daily sketching routine, a daily brush lettering routine. Okay, and I'm down to my last 2 journals, and I have my planner, which is what this is all going to be about. In One Book July, I'm going to set up a planner, and my goal is going to be to evaluate my daily routines to see whether or not I can make changes to my planning system which enable me to keep my hobbies going, you know, actually build them into a daily routine for myself. So that's my planner, and this is my personal journal. And I don't often share this one because it's a personal journal, but I will need that. So I don't want to do 2 books. I do only want to do 1 book in July. So I'm really paring it down as much as I can, but I need to think about what I'm wanting to include in that 1 book. And I will need my personal journal. I don't need, I absolutely love this. I love this insert so much. I bought more of these. I love this super lightweight paper. Mel bought me this and sent it to me, and I hadn't even bought one because I didn't think I would like them, and I love it. It's my favourite insert. Sadly, it's limited edition. I have bought a few more so that I've got them for future projects, but I'm doing a tarot project in there. I don't need to worry about that. That's something I do as and when I feel like it. So it's another tarot one, and then my personal journal where I dump my feelings, thoughts and emotions and such like is in here. Okay, so for One Book July, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change my planner cover, and I'm actually going to use this cover, the olive. Okay, so I'm going to use the olive, and then all I will do is transfer my sketchbook from this olive into my camel, and then I want to decide what inserts I absolutely need and I can't live without, or don't want to live without, to put in here. So let's just quickly do that now, and then on Friday I will do a setup video where I sort of decorate all my journal pages and booklets and set up what I need in each insert and so on. So I'm taking these little bits out because this is my sketchbook. So I have this insert. Oops. Which is, you know, the one that I just add pages as and when I want to. It's not sewn together. My plan was to sew it together when it was full, but obviously I've got lots of pages to use yet, and I've had it like that for over a year, well over a year, and it's just not being properly used. I don't know where I took that elastic off. And then this is just my little HB pencil sketchbook and a folder. So, and my sketching pencil. So I'm going to take all of those out, and they are just going in exactly the same way into my camel. Now I'm going to take everything out of my camel. I'm going to need this pen. And let's see, I've got a folder. I've got my focus of the week notebook. This one is currently my planner, which is full. I finished it off last week, so this one is full. That's my blotting paper. I'm going to need that. And this was a calendar that I stopped using in April, and I plan to use for lists after One Book July, but I don't need it in there for now because I might change my mind and decide that isn't what I want to use it for. So let's take that one away. Okay, so take that off, take that off, and I will reassemble my sketchbook, which will be sitting dormant during July, and I will reassemble it in there. I just fancied using a different cover. I thought it would be fun for my planner. Okay, so I'm definitely going to need my blotting paper, and I guess in a way using a traveller's notebook for 1 Book July is a bit of a cheat because you get more than one book, don't you, in a traveller's notebook. You can pack in as many as you like. But the key sort of idea of evaluating my systems and focusing on planning for myself. I always plan for, you know, things that I'm going to do in the week, you know, appointments, people that I'm seeing. I don't work at the moment because I took early retirement, don't plan to go back to work, and so my life isn't too busy, but I do schedule things and I plan meals for my family, and I'm not very good at planning meals for myself. So what I want to do, I watched Miss Vicky Bee's video on 1 Book July, and she was talking about how important it is to not just plan for appointments and your family, but to also think about how you're planning for yourself, how you're making sure you're meeting your own needs. So I think that's what I want to focus on too. So that's my challenge for 1 Book July. The challenge for me is going to be evaluating my planning and journaling and sketching hobby and seeing whether or not I can build it more successfully and productively into my life by using my planner. Does that make any sense? I hope that made some sense. Anyway, let's see. What I'm going to definitely put in here is my focus of the week, because I love my focus of the week, where I take a card and then I think of something in response to the card that I want to research or reflect on or think about, and I do that, and then I share it with you, and I really enjoy doing that, and some of you really enjoy me sharing that, so that's going to continue. And I have successfully done that every week for a long time, so that's not a problem for me, but I want to keep it as a thing that I do every week on my channel. Now, the other thing that I do every week on my channel is obviously my planner, which is now full. And I primarily use this for just planning my week. Let's find a page, planning out my week, and then doing a meal plan for my family. Now, I decided recently that I wanted, as soon as this insert was finished, because I didn't want to waste it, I wanted to separate my planning from my meal planning into 2 inserts. So what I have decided to do is I'm going to do my planning in a vertical insert, and notice this one came decorated. This one, which I used in 2018, and I've just pulled out of my archive because it has some blank pages. It has blank pages that I never used. I never finished it, and I was using it as a snippet journal. I'm going to have a go at doing my planning in a vertical planner, just my scheduling for each week, what I'm going to do each day, each week. And I'm going to think about how I can use this to not only schedule my appointments, but also to start motivating myself to practice the things every day that I want to practice for my own enjoyment and pleasure, and so on. So that's what I'm going to use this one for. So that's coming in here. So that's my planner. I've got to have a planner in my planner. Otherwise it won't be a planner. Oh my goodness, I'm going crazy. Right, the next thing I want is a meal planner, and I've decided to use the super lightweight paper for my meal planner, because I will be doing because I've been enjoying how I've been doing this notebook. I just wanted to separate them to make it easier for me to look back on meals, and to make it easier to find where I am in terms of my appointments and such like. And if this works for 2023, I will buy a dated one of these. So I want to try it and see. I don't think I've quite got enough for the rest of the year, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. So I'm going to do that. And so I thought I'd use my super lightweight, and I'm going to do my monthly theme. So I'll do my month with my theme, which I really enjoy doing. I don't know why, it's just fun. And then I will do my meal planning, and I can still do a collage, and I can plan my meals for my family. And I'm going to try, my goal, my challenge is to plan my own meals as well, and stop just focusing on my family and also think about myself. So, because I want to lose weight. I've been trying to do that since about 2016 and not successful. So this year, that is going to be a winner. So I'm going to have a meal planner. I'm going to have my planner. I'm going to have my focus of the week. And then the last thing that I really feel like I can't do without is my personal journal. but I'm going to use it slightly differently. Oh, that's to do with my meal planning. I'm going to use it obviously as my personal journal. It's got that lovely happy mail from Louise at Coffee Tea paper clip to the back. I'm going to keep that in here. So I'm going to continue using this as my personal journal, and those pages are not ones that I will share, but I shall also use this as a catch-all. So if I see a quotation that I want to make a note of, I put it in here. If I want to take notes on something, I'll put it in here. If I want to remind myself of something that's happened, I'll put it in here. So it'll be a bit more of a catch-all, which I'll be interested to see how that works and whether I enjoy doing that. In fact, I might do my personal journaling at the front and then separate it into two, and then do my sort of catch-all notebook in the back. Because you always need somewhere, don't you, to write things down. So do I need anything else in here? Yes, because even though I have decided that I really need to think about why I'm not doing the daily sketching I'd like to do, why I'm not practicing my brush lettering as much as I want to do, I want to introduce something new. One of the things I've wanted to do for ages is more illustrated journaling. So I thought one way in which I might incorporate the things I want to practice, so I want to practice sketching and I want to practice brush lettering. So one way I might do that is to do a little illustrated journal, and I'm going to try that during July and see whether or not I can manage it. So I've picked up this insert, which is another gift from Mel, and this is a short trip insert in the craft paper. And I have used craft paper in the past, craft paper inserts, not the short ones, not these little lovely beautiful thin ones, which you can't get in the UK, and I love them. In the past I've used craft journals for my memory keeping, and I've enjoyed them. But what I thought I would do with this one, rather than collecting all, you know, bits and pieces that I want to stick in, rather than putting photographs in like I do in my memory keeping journal, I don't want to abandon that. As I said, I'm going to continue with that because I enjoy it. I've got a really graty voice today. I don't know why, perhaps I'm talking too much. So what I'm going to do in this one is an illustrated journal. So in here I will be doing little bits of sketching, and I will be doing little bits of brush lettering, but I will be turning that into a project to see if that motivates me, as it were, to practice as I go. So those are the inserts that I want to put in there. The one last thing I wanted to put in here is just a piece of thick drawing paper, in case I'm inspired to do something less sketchy and more sort of finished drawing that I could put into my sketchbook afterwards, because it's just a loose piece of paper, and then I can add it to my sketchbook. So I'm hoping that I can do everything that I want to do in here for July and see whether or not I can use this planner in addition to scheduling my life and scheduling our meals, but to focus on my own weight loss and meal planning, to focus on my own hobbies, my sketching, my brush lettering, my journaling. And then at the end of July I will look at what I've done and evaluate it and see whether or not I can expand back into all my many books, because I don't want to not use them. If I can expand back and see whether or not I can use my planner to help me make sure I use all of those more efficiently. So what I'm going to do in my next video is I'm going to decorate and sort of set up this notebook with all these inserts. Oh my goodness, is that too many? I think they're going to fit. I think they're going to fit. But I'm going to sort of set each one up and set up for July in my meal planner, set up the first week of July in my planner, and so on. So I hope you found that interesting or useful. I hope I've managed to give some idea as to what the point of One Book July is, or what it is going to be for me. And I will see you again on the 1st of July with my setup for One Book July. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.